The AL West. Can someone please win this division other than Houston? I am so sick and tired of division dominance by one team. It makes me sick. What, the hat? No, that's different. That's different. Welcome to the Dugout. I'm your host, Joseph Silva, and on today's episode, we're continuing our preview of the 2025 MLB season, and we're talking about the AL West, one of the most confusing divisions in baseball. I, for one, am excited for it. But if you're enjoying the content, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the Run the Play Network. The Thunder just blew a massive, massive lead, and I would love to see Anthony complain about it on the next episode of You Know Ball. And we begin this with all discussions of the AL West at last place, and that, unfortunately, is the Los Angeles Angels. At catcher, they have Logan O'Hoppe. First base is going to be Nolan Schanuel. O'Hoppe is projected for a 113 WRC+, Schanuel a 110 WRC+. Luis Rengifo is going to be at second with a 100 WRC+. Yoan Moncada will be at third with his 104 WRC+. At shortstop, Zach Neto and his 118 WRC+ will be there. Taylor Ward will be in left with 115 projected WRC+. In center field, Joe Adell and his 107 WRC+ will be out there. Mike Trout is finally moving positions. He will be playing right field for the Angels this year. He is projected for a monstrous and Mike Trout-esque 146 WRC+. And DH, Jorge Soler with a 115 WRC+. And this is the best lineup if this was like 2019. Like, do not be fooled by all these, like, plus 100 WRC pluses. I don't buy that this lineup is going to be super, super successful. It's the trap we fall into with the Angels every single year. Oh, David Freese is going to be so, so good for them. Oh, my God, Player X is going to be so, so good for them. I think O'Hoppe will be decent. Schanuel, dear God, just start lifting the ball and you'd be a great hitter. Greg Nifo, not really sold on him. Zach Neto, he has good numbers and he was really great last year. I just don't see it being sustainable. Like, he didn't have high BABIP or anything, but there's nothing to indicate to me that this is who Neto is. Taylor Ward, fantastic. Joe Adell, he is the best quadruple A player in baseball, let's be honest here. Mike Trout, you're hoping the move to a corner outfield spot provides less wear and tear on his body, but you have to wait and see. And Jorge Soler, he was really great in 2021 for Atlanta. He was fine since. There's never really been a great Jorge Soler thing, and I don't think that bat's going to play especially well in Anaheim. Maybe the pitching makes up for it. I don't really think so either. Their opening day starter is going to be Yusei Kikuchi, who is projected for 143 innings, 10.1 strikeouts per nine, 3 walks per nine, 1.4 home runs per nine, 4.29 ERA, and a 3.90 FIP. Tyler Anderson will be after him with 148 in the third innings projected, 7.4 ERA, 3.2 walks per nine, 1.3 home runs per nine, 4.49 ERA, 4.64 FIP. After him is Kyle Hendricks, who is projected to throw 112 innings with 6.4 strikeouts per nine, 2.7 walks per nine, 1.6 home runs per nine. Dear God. 5.38 ERA and a 5.12 FIP. Ray Detmers is after him. He's projected to throw 151 innings with almost 10 strikeouts per nine, 3.2 walks per nine, 1.2 home runs per nine, a 4.29 ERA, and a 3.90 FIP. And that fifth spot, a lot of people are vying for it. I think it's going to be Caden Dana. He's projected to throw 124 innings with 7.7 strikeouts per nine, 3.3 walks per nine, 2.5 home runs per nine. Not great. 4.56 ERA and a 4.55 FIP. And this rotation, like the top two, is fine. I don't think Kikuchi is going to maintain that stuff he had with Toronto and especially with Houston last year. The Angels have been where pitchers, quite frankly, go to die. Tyler Anderson was a welcome surprise, but I don't think he's going to be that guy for them going forward. Hendricks is just there to be an innings eater. He is going to get lit up like the biggest Christmas display you've ever seen. He just doesn't have that stuff, and I don't want to even say stuff because he never really threw particularly hard, but the command's starting to go down, the velocity, which wasn't great, is down. He is just going to be smacked around like a piñata. It's going to be rough for the Angels fans to see. Reed Detmers, you're really hoping, oh, this is where he lives up to that top prospect potential. This is where he lives up to that top prospect potential. I don't really necessarily see it because he's shown flashes, but it's never been sustainable. I think Detmers is going to be another in the long line of failed pitching prospects for the Angels. And then Dan, I think, just has the best raw stuff of anybody. And I think that's going to be what gives him a chance here. And then for the bullpen, they brought in Kenley Jansen to close for this team. He's projected for 9.8 strikeouts per nine, 3.4 walks per nine, 1.1 home runs per nine, 3.73 ERA, 3.77 FIP. I've always been of the opinion since 2021 that you cannot throw Jansen back-to-back nights. That's when he starts blowing saves and starts looking a lot less effective. And I think, a perfect one-night closer role is exactly where he fits in with Anaheim because the man behind him is so filthy. That, of course, is Ben Joyce with his 100-plus mile-an-hour fastball. He's projected for 10.4 strikeouts per nine, 3.9 walks per nine, 0.8 home runs per nine, 3.58 ERA, 3.65 FIP. What is there to say about Ben Joyce, man? He is just disgusting out of that bullpen. He'll probably come in and be the 1B to Jansen's 1A in terms of closers. If they follow my plan, they're not. They're the Angels. They're not that great of an organization. But I think that's what the plan should be. Overall, he's got fantastic stuff. Just needs to work on his command. And I think he would be a fantastic co-closer with Jansen out there in Anaheim. Now in fourth place, this one really pains me. But I got the Mariners. Now, we know the lineup problems, and I don't necessarily agree with the Steamer predictions that I'm about to read you, but I'm going to read them to you anyways. At catcher, we got big dumper himself, Cal Raleigh, with his 115 WRC+. First base looks like it's going to be Luke Raley with a projected 111 WRC+. Dylan Moore will man second with a 98 WRC+. Jorge Polanco is at third with a 101 WRC+. JP Crawford man short with a 109 WRC+. Randy Arozarena is going to be in left with a 119 WRC+. J-Rod will be in center, 135 projected WRC+. The resurgent Victor Robles will be in right with a 102 WRC+. DH looks like it's going to be Mitch Garver with a 104 WRC+. Streamer, I want you to look me in the eye and tell me that you think a majority of these hitters will be above average, because I don't think, I'm thinking 4 of these guys will be above average. Raleigh, Arozarena, J-Rod, and we'll throw in JP Crawford. He's shown places. But Luke Raley, I love him. He's a Dodgers legend. No, not happening. Jorge Polanco, we said this last year. He's going to rehabilitate his swing. He's Adam Frazier 2.0 in this lineup, quite frankly. Victor Robles, he's fine, but I don't see the resurgence necessarily sticking around, especially with how T-Mobile Park destroys hitters. Mitch Garver, he's fine. That's it. This lineup is so bad, and it pisses me off that they knew they had to fix this lineup, and their solution is Jorge Polanco. You deserve this 4th place finish, because this rotation is the best in baseball. And yes, I'm including the super rotation that has been assembled in Los Angeles, because my God, let me read you the names and their projections. The ace of the staff is Logan Gilbert. He's projected to throw 198 and 2/3 innings with 9.4 strikeouts per nine, 2 walks per nine, 1.1 home runs per nine, 3.34 ERA, and 3.46 FIP. After him is going to be Luis Castillo. He's projected to throw 184 and a third innings pitched with 9.1 strikeouts per nine, 2.6 home runs per nine, 1.1 home runs, or 2.6 walks per nine, 1.1 home runs per nine, 3.64 FIP, and a 3.64 ERA, 3.77 FIP. After him is the master of control, George Kirby. 180 in the third innings pitched, 8.5 strikeouts per nine, a measly 1.4 walks per nine, 1.2 home runs per nine, 3.52 ERA and FIP. After him is Bryce Miller with 174 and 2/3 innings projected, 8.6 strikeouts per nine, 2.4 walks per nine, 1.3 home runs per nine, 3.9 ERA, 3.4 or 4.05 FIP. And rounding out this rotation is Brian Wu with 143 and 2/3 innings pitched, 8.5 strikeouts per nine, 2.1 walks per nine, 1.3 home runs per nine, 3.86 ERA, 3.97 FIP. This is a phenomenal rotation. And yes, you could take it with a grain of salt like those great Rockies lineups and say, oh, it's Coors Field. And you could say, oh yeah, it's T-Mobile Park. I don't care. These guys pitch just as well on the road. They are phenomenal. They are masters of control. They're masters of the strike zone. They have great stuff. They'll go deep into the games, or as deep as you can for a modern starter. This is the plutonic ideal of a rotation and what it should be. And I love every single one of these guys so much. I can see Gilbert, Kirby, maybe Castillo contending for a Cy Young this year. And that's your 1 through 3. Not to mention you have Bryce Miller and Brian Wu in the back, who in and of themselves are phenomenal pitchers. This Seattle team is so, so good, man. And what's even crazier, too, is the bullpen is just as great. Andres Munoz is going to be the closer. He's projected for 11.7 strikeouts per nine, 3.5 walks per nine, zero point 0.8 home runs per nine, 2.83 2.96 FIP. You know how good Munoz is. He's just one of many arms in this bullpen that is just phenomenal. And the thing is, he doesn't even have the best stuff in the bullpen, too. That honor goes to Matt Brash, who, my God, is a warrior with phenomenal stuff. He's projected for 11.5 strikeouts per nine, 3.6 walks per nine, 0.8 home runs per nine, 2.92 ERA, 3.10 FIP. Every arm in this bullpen is phenomenal. Every arm they're going to throw at you is going to be one of the best arms in the league. It's just this lineup holds this team back, man. And you can blame it on the ballpark. I blame it more on ownership and their unwillingness to spend, because there are a lot of bats they could have gone and brought out here. There are so many good first basemen. Alonso, Walker, Goldschmidt, Santana. And you're going with Luke Raley as your first baseman? I'm sorry. Pitching can only take you so far. Fourth place. That's it. After that, this one's a little controversial. I have the Houston Astros, as the third place team in the division. Let's get into it here. The lineup, you have one of, if not the best offensive catchers in baseball, Yanier Diaz with his 119 projected WRC+. Newly acquired Christian Walker is going to be at first base with a 124 WRC+. Brendan Rodgers is going to be at second base because for some reason they're committed to Jose Altuve in left. He's projected for a 95 WRC+. Isaac Paredes is going to be at third with a 126 WRC+. Jeremy Pena will continue to man short with his 107 WRC+. Jose Altuve, again, for some reason, is going out to left field. He's projected for a 120 WRC+. And center field will be Jake Myers with his 97 WRC+. Chas McCormick runs right with a 103 WRC+. And Yordan Alvarez with a 171 WRC+ is DHing for this team. And quite frankly, this lineup is not that Houston behemoth it is. You really feel the loss of Kyle Tucker in this lineup, especially with the fact that, again, for some reason, Jose Altuve is going to be in left field. I still don't know why they're doing this. And Isaac Paredes, I think, is going to be a monster with those Crawford boxes. And I know a lot of people talk about him, and it's a short porch in left. It's the equivalent of Yankee Stadium's only 320 feet down the line. I get it, but this man is a pull fly ball hitter from the right side of the box, which is perfectly aligned with those damn Crawford boxes. He realistically can hit 40 home runs. I would not be surprised if he hit 50 home runs. That's how much those boxes are built for that swing. Now, on top of that, like Christian Walker, the Dodger killer himself, is a good player. I'm not denying that, but you're just looking at it, and I don't see the thump this lineup used to have. Diaz, Alvarez, Altuve, Walker, they're great. Paredes, you're really projecting. I think he's going to project well, but after that, Pena is fine. McCormick, fine. Myers, below average, and whatever they're doing at second base, they're not going to get Jose Altuve level production. They're especially not going to get Kyle Tucker production out of that position. I don't really see the vision, and I think this lineup is going to take a massive, massive step back. Rotation-wise, again, I think it's just fine. Framber Valdez is the ace of the staff. He's projected to throw in 184 and 2/3 innings with an 8.6 strikeouts per nine, 2.9 walks per nine, 0.8 home runs per nine, 3.43 ERA, 3.45 FIP. After him is going to be Hunter Brown with 167 and 2/3 innings pitched, 9.4 strikeouts per nine, 3.1 walks per nine, a home run per nine, 3.70 ERA, 3.66 FIP. The surprising Ronel Blanco will be on the rotation to start the year with 159 and two-thirds innings pitched, 8.9 strikeouts per nine, 3.7 walks per nine, 1.3 home runs per nine, 4.37 ERA, 4.43 FIP. Spencer Arrighetti will be after him with 141 and a third innings pitched, 9.2 strikeouts per nine, 3.9 walks per nine, 4.4 ERA, 4.47 FIP. And after him, Luis Garcia is going to throw 123 and a third innings with 8.8 strikeouts per nine, 2.8 walks per nine, 1.4 home runs per nine, 4.21 ERA, 4.20 FIP on the dot. And yeah, they're going to get Christian Javier and Lance McCullers back at some point this year. But aside from Valdez, I think this is just an average rotation behind him. And yeah, that works as like 4 or 5 guys, but your 2-3 being average is not necessarily what we expect out of this Houston team. I think Ronel Blanco is going to take a massive, massive step back. He walked up a lot. He walked a lot of hitters, did not get a lot of ground balls, gave up a lot of barrels on a subpar fastball, let's be honest here. I think Blanco is going to get hit hard. And I love the story of him. You always root for the guys who fight through the minor leagues to earn their shot. But I just don't think it's going to be sustainable from what he did last year. I think Blanco is going to falter hard, and you're really betting on, Christian Javier and Lance McCullers to come back and really be the 2-3 in the staff, and I just don't see it anymore. This Houston team, I think, is a declining empire. No matter how much the media hype says it, so they're just not as great as they used to be. The bullpen, you're really relying on the big two now with the trade of Ryan Presley. Brian Abreu and Josh Hader will be fighting for the closer role. It's going to be Hader. They paid him all that money. He's projected for 12.5 strikeouts per nine, 3.6 walks per nine, 1.1 home runs per nine, 3.17 ERA, 3.25 FIP. Brian Abreu is after him with 11.4 strikeouts per nine, 3.6 walks per nine, 0.9 home runs per nine, 3.31 ERA, 3.32 FIP. Overall, those two are fantastic. They always seem to find guys that will be great relievers. And I think that's probably going to be the strength of this team is this bullpen. Is they have a lot of good guys. Hader, he was not the Josh Hader of old, but he's still a very good closer. Brian Abreu is a great setup man. I think they're going to be the strength of this team. I just do not see this team being as great as they once were. They were exposed hard by the pitching chaos Tigers in the wild card series. I think it's a sign of things to come. No, I am not a bitter Dodgers fan. Now, before we get to the really surprising part, and I know the team you guys have been screaming at me to talk about, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Man, okay, LeBron hit my parlay. Let's get it.
Oh shit, he hit it?
Yeah, bro. Look at this.
I won $200. I tailed your parlay.
How the heck did you win $200?
I used Boom Fantasy. I used their pick and spin, spun the wheel, got 10 times my money.
Bro, you gotta hook me up.
If you use code RTP, you could get a risk-free bet up to $100. Let's get back to the video.
I don't remember what the official press release the organization put out to call them. I'm just going to call them the Sacramento Athletics. And it makes me so mad because this team is young, they're fun, they're spending money. Granted, it's because their MLBPA has filed a lot of grievances against them, and they kind of have to be forced to spend money in order to avoid a big labor thing going on. But still, when you leave Oakland and you start spending money and you have a young, fun team, it's poor optics to say the least. But I'm not going to rant about this because I can go on for about 25 minutes about how much I hate John Fisher. But one thing I do not hate is this lineup. At catcher, you got Shea Bangaliers himself with a projected 113 WRC plus. Tyler Soderstrom will be at first with a 113 WRC plus. Zach Geloff will man second with a 98 WRC plus. They brought in Gio Urshela to be third with a 101 WRC plus. Top prospect Jacob Wilson is going to man short this year with a 119 WRC plus. Seth Brown is going to be in left with a 108 WRC plus. JJ Bleday will be in center field with a 117 WRC plus. The very fun Lawrence Butler is going to be in right with a 122 WRC plus. And DH Brent Rooker, who won the Silver Slugger over your Don last year, let's keep that in mind, is projected for a 133 WRC plus. And overall, this is such a young, fun lineup. I love Butler. I love Rooker. Shea Langoliers, I call him Bangaliers because he just hits the ball hard, man. He hits bangers, quite honestly. Soderstrom looks like he's going to be a good first baseman, but I want to talk about Jacob Wilson, man. He is what everybody thinks Luis Arias is he's an elite contact hitter who does not strike out. Sounds like Luis Arias, right? But he's got a little bit of pop in that bat, too, with a good plate approach. I love Jacob Wilson so much. Keep that name in mind because he might be a contender for AL Rookie of the Year. He is so good, man. On the rotation, they're fine, but they made a lot of strides to improve that area. Luis Severino looks like he's going to be the opening day starter. He's projected for 182 and 2/3 innings pitched with 7.8 strikeouts per nine, 3 walks per nine, 1.3 home runs per nine, 4.25 ERA, and a 4.39 FIP. JP Sears is after him with 177 and 2/3 innings pitched, 7.3 strikeouts per nine, 2.7 walks per nine, 1.5 home runs per nine, 4.62 ERA, 4.80 FIP. Jeffrey Springs is going to be after him. He's projected for 154 innings with 8.7 strikeouts per nine, 2.5 walks per nine, 1.3 home runs per nine, 3.83 ERA, and a 3.98 FIP. Mitch Spence will be the 4 starter with 119 and 2/3 innings pitched, 6.9 strikeouts per nine, 2.7 walks per nine, 1.2 home runs per nine, 4.33 ERA, and a 4.04 FIP. And Osvaldo Bido will round out this rotation, projected for 114 ERA, or 114 innings pitched, 8.2 strikeouts per nine, 3.5 walks per nine, 1.3 home runs per nine, 4.41 ERA, and a 4.60 FIP. Yeah, this rotation, like Houston, is not necessarily the best. I like Jeffrey Springs. He is one of those guys you don't hear about in Tampa, but he's so good. Luis Severino is looking to build off his success from the Mets. JP Sears is a good 3 option, but I don't like Spence and Beto behind him. But I think this rotation is good enough to get the job done and keep it close because the lineup is really what's going to do a lot of the thump. And you hand it off to a very decent bullpen. You really got a good top 2 arms here because, quite frankly, I think they need to sponsor the bottom of the ninth, or like that is, because, guys, it's Miller time. Mason Miller was phenomenal in his rookie year, and I don't expect him to slow down whatsoever. He's projected for 13.3 strikeouts per nine, 3.2 walks per nine, 0.8 home runs per nine, 2.58 ERA, 2.55 FIP. With that electric fastball, that deadly slider. He is the most fun closer to watch in baseball, man. There's a reason why everyone's like, we should trade for Mason Miller in his rookie year with all that control. Because, my God, he makes it look so effortless. I love that man so much. He'll be supported by Jose Leclerc, who's projected for 10.2 strikeouts per nine, 3.9 walks per nine, 1.2 home runs per nine, 3.82 ERA, and a 4.01 FIP. Overall, this bullpen is really going to rely on the 2 of them because after that, you're kind of dumpster diving, really hoping to find gems. I think they can do it. They're a very smart organization when they can be and want to be. I think this is the time they're gonna have to start developing a fan base outside of Oakland for their impending move to Las Vegas. But I'm really betting high on this Athletics team because this lineup is young and so good, and they have a lot of great players with great ceilings. I think Butler can be a lot better. Rooker, I don't think he can be much better, but there's still room for improvement. You're really betting on Langoliers, Soderstrom, and Wilson to really be those guys that take the next step forward. Blade, super underrated as well. This is just a great lineup supported by a decent enough rotation and an electric 2 arms in the bullpen. Do not be surprised if the Sacramento Athletics are hosting playoff games because they're that good. But of course, there's one team that is the class of the division. That is the 2023 World Series champion, Texas Rangers. And they really had a bad hangover last year. The lineup is catcher Jonah Heim with a 92 WRC plus projected. First base is going to be Jake Berger with a 113 WRC plus. Second base, Marcus Simeon's looking to bounce back with a projected 114 WRC plus. Josh Young is third with a 105 WRC plus. At shortstop, my heart, my love, Mike Corey Seager is projected for a 114 WRC plus. Wyatt Langford is looking to bounce back from a subpar rookie year. He's projected for a 124 WRC plus in left. Evan Carter had his year cut short by injury last year. He's going to man center. He's looking to have a good sophomore season with a 111 WRC plus. Adolis Garcia, say it with me, had a disappointing year last year. He's looking to bounce back in a big way with a 109 WRC plus in right. And DH, again, another Dodger legend. Jock Peterson himself will be there with a 131 WRC plus. This lineup's got so much thump, man. They can platoon with Peterson at DH. But, Langford showed a lot of strides in the second half last year as the walk rate was up 2.2%, and he hit for a lot more power in the second half as well, as he had a 68-point increase in his isolated slugging on a lower BABIP too, which is phenomenal. You know how good Seager is. You know how good even or odd year Simeon is. Berger is an eternally underrated first baseman. This lineup's just got dudes 1 through 9 that can really punish you if necessary. I don't believe Adolis Garcia when he says he's going to hit 50 home runs, but good for him in having that confidence. He is such a fun player when he's confident and on. I think he's going to back it up a little bit here. And Evan Carter, you're looking for him to live up to that top prospect status, but he doesn't necessarily have the pressure on him because there are so many people that are supporting him this year. Now the rotation, they can honestly go with a 6-man rotation. I'm just going to go with 5 for the time being. Opening day starter is going to be Jacob deGrom, and you're just hoping for a healthy year from him overall. He's projected for 152 innings with 12.2 strikeouts per 9, 1.8 walks per 9, a home run per 9, 2.88 ERA, 2.62 FIP. Nathan Eovaldi is after him with 176 innings, 8.7 strikeouts per 9, 2.4 walks per 9, 1.1 home runs per 9, 3.80 ERA, 3.75 FIP. John Gray will be the 3 starter, 148 and 2/3 innings pitched, 8.2 strikeouts per 9, 2.7 walks per 9, 1.3 home runs per 9, 4.25 ERA, and a 4.22 FIP. Tyler Mahle looks like he's going to be the 4 starter. He's projected for 147 and 2/3 innings pitched, 8.4 strikeouts per 9, 2.8 walks per 9, 1.4 home runs per 9, 4.34 ERA, and a 4.35 FIP. And the big 2 arms they have in the farm system, Leiter, Rocker. Who am I rocking with, pun intended? I'm rocking with Kumar. He's projected for 139 in the 3rd innings pitched, 9.1 strikeouts per 9, 2.9 walks per 9, 1.1 home runs per 9, 3.84 ERA, and a 4.69 FIP. Overall, this rotation has such a high ceiling because you know how good deGrom is if he can give you a full season. You know the high prospect status that Rocker and Leiter have. Eovaldi has just been phenomenal for Texas since he's gotten there. Gray is a good innings eater, and Mahle is a good innings eater as well. This is just a well-rounded group of guys that really just provides so much for this team going forward and supports this lineup. That's really the underrated aspect of that World Series run is they had a lot of guys that got you 6 innings and handed it off to a phenomenal bullpen with Spores and Chapman back there. And I think that's the same thing that's going to be going on here is they're just going to give them 6 and hand it off to a very good bullpen with the aforementioned Spores. And the 2 arms I'm going to highlight here, first being newly acquired Dodger legend closer Chris Martin. He's projected for 9.3 strikeouts per 9, 1.8 walks per 9, a home run per 9, 3.34 ERA, 3.25 FIP. He is supported by Robert Garcia, who's projected for 10.2 strikeouts per 9, 3.3 walks per 9, a home run per 9, 3.41 ERA, and a 3.54 FIP. Is there's not that true alpha in that bullpen. You do not have that Mason Miller that we were talking about with the Athletics. But overall, is they just have a lot of solid guys that can get you clutch outs at clutch times. And that's exactly what they need because this rotation may not necessarily be, this rotation is very good. They're going to give you 6 innings. Yes, you have the question mark with deGrom's health, but overall, they are a good group that form a very well-rounded pitching staff with a great lineup. This Texas team are going to be back with a vengeance, quite frankly. They want to come back and prove that World Series win was not a fluke. And I kind of believe them because this team is stacked and deep. But let me know in the comments down below. Was this Texas team a fluke? Am I really that high on the Athletics? Have I prematurely buried Houston again? Come yell at me in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the content, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the Run the Play Network, and don't forget on the way out, play ball.